National Electrical Code Section 210.8A7 mandates ground fault circuit interrupter protection for receptacles located within 6 feet of the outside edge of a sink top in kitchens, bathrooms, garages, and outdoor areas. The underlying principle is to safeguard against electrical shocks in environments where water might be present. In the situation described, the receptacles are positioned in the backside of a kitchen bar, not immediately adjacent to a sink. However, the kitchen bar is considered part of the kitchen environment. Consequently, the National Electrical Code guidelines necessitate ground fault circuit interrupter protection for these receptacles. The rationale is that even if the receptacles are not directly serving countertops or water-related appliances, they are still situated within the kitchen area, potentially exposing them to moisture. For example, accidental spills or the use of damp cloths for cleaning could introduce moisture. In such scenarios, ground fault circuit interrupter protection adds a layer of safety, preventing potential electrical shocks. Ground fault circuit interrupters function by monitoring the balance of current flowing between the hot and neutral conductors in a circuit. If a disparity arises, indicating that current is leaking to ground, the ground fault circuit interrupter trips, promptly cutting off the power supply and mitigating the risk of electric shock. This protection extends to scenarios where a person might come into contact with a live electrical component while simultaneously touching a grounded surface or object. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to react swiftly, typically interrupting the circuit within a fraction of a second, thereby minimizing the duration and severity of any potential shock. Ground fault circuit interrupters offer a crucial safety measure in areas prone to moisture, effectively preventing electrical shocks. The National Electrical Code has specific requirements for ground fault circuit interrupter protection in various locations, including kitchens, bathrooms, and outdoor areas. The intent is to reduce the risk of electrical accidents. While the described receptacles may not directly serve countertops or appliances that use water, their proximity to the kitchen area necessitates the use of ground fault circuit interrupter protection. This proactive measure helps to prevent electrical shocks by immediately cutting off power in the event of a ground fault. Ground fault circuit interrupters are relatively simple to install, typically involving the replacement of a standard receptacle with a ground fault circuit interrupter receptacle or the installation of a ground fault circuit interrupter circuit breaker in the electrical panel. Regular testing of ground fault circuit interrupters is recommended to ensure their continued functionality. This is typically done by pressing the test button on the ground fault circuit interrupter receptacle or circuit breaker. If the ground fault circuit interrupter trips, it indicates that it is functioning correctly. If it does not trip, it may need to be replaced. Ground fault circuit interrupters are an essential safety component in any electrical system, especially in areas where water is present. While they may not be explicitly required in all locations, they provide an added layer of protection against electrical shock. It is reasonable to require ground fault circuit interrupter protection for receptacles located in the backside of a kitchen bar. This helps to ensure safety in the event of accidental contact with moisture. Understanding the purpose and functionality of ground fault circuit interrupters is crucial for ensuring electrical safety in residential and commercial settings. Consulting the National Electrical Code and local electrical codes is essential for determining the specific requirements for ground fault circuit interrupter protection in any given location. Local codes might have additional or more stringent requirements than the National Electrical Code. When in doubt, consulting with a qualified electrician is always recommended to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and to ensure the safe installation of electrical components. The National Electrical Code Section 210.8 outlines the specific requirements for ground fault circuit interrupter protection in dwelling units. Subsection 210.8 specifically addresses dwelling units and lists the locations where ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required. These locations include bathrooms, garages, outdoors, crawl spaces, unfinished basements, and kitchens. Within kitchens, ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required for receptacles serving countertop surfaces and receptacles within 6 feet of the outside edge of a sink. While the receptacles on the backside of the kitchen bar may not be directly serving countertop surfaces, their proximity to the kitchen area and potential exposure to moisture warrant the use of ground fault circuit interrupter protection. The code aims to prevent electrical shock hazards in areas where water might be present. Even if the receptacles are not used for appliances that directly use water, the risk of spills or splashes necessitates the protection offered by ground fault circuit interrupters. It is important to note that the interpretation of electrical codes can sometimes vary depending on the local jurisdiction and the specific inspector. Therefore, it is always best to consult with the local electrical inspector or a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with all applicable codes. The use of ground fault circuit interrupters is not only a code requirement in many situations but also a best practice for ensuring electrical safety. Ground fault circuit interrupters provide a crucial layer of protection against electrical shock, particularly in areas where water is present. They are a relatively inexpensive and easy to install safety device that can significantly reduce the risk of electrical accidents. In addition to receptacles, ground fault circuit interrupter protection may also be required for other electrical equipment such as dishwashers and garbage disposals, depending on the local codes and the specific installation. When installing or modifying electrical wiring, it is essential to follow all applicable codes and regulations and to use qualified personnel. This ensures that the electrical system is safe and reliable. In summary, the requirement for ground fault circuit interrupter protection for receptacles on the back side of a kitchen bar is reasonable and consistent with the intent of the National Electrical Code. This is to provide a safe electrical environment by minimizing the risk of electrical shock in areas where moisture might be present. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician or local electrical inspector for specific guidance on code compliance. The National Electrical Code is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay current with the latest requirements. The 2023 National Electrical Code may have different or revised requirements compared to previous editions. The specific wording of the code should be carefully reviewed to ensure compliance. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to protect people from electrical shock, but they do not protect equipment from damage. Surge protectors are used to protect equipment from voltage spikes. It is important to use both ground fault circuit interrupters and surge protectors to provide comprehensive electrical protection. Arc fault circuit interrupters are another type of circuit breaker that provides protection against arc faults, which can cause fires. Arc fault circuit interrupters are typically required in bedrooms and other areas where there is a higher risk of fire. Ground fault circuit interrupters are an essential component of a safe electrical system and should be installed in accordance with all applicable codes and regulations. The National Electrical Code provides detailed information on the installation and use of ground fault circuit interrupters. Consulting the National Electrical Code and working with a qualified electrician can help to ensure a safe and compliant electrical installation. Consider the specific layout of the kitchen and the potential for water exposure when determining the need for ground fault circuit interrupter protection. Even if the receptacles are not directly adjacent to a sink, they may still be subject to splashes or spills. It is important to assess the risk and take appropriate measures to protect against electrical shock. The National Electrical Code is a comprehensive set of standards for electrical safety. It is important to understand and follow these standards to ensure a safe electrical environment. Ground fault circuit interrupters are just one aspect of electrical safety, but they are an important one. By installing and maintaining ground fault circuit interrupters properly, it is possible to significantly reduce the risk of electrical shock. The National Electrical Code Section 210.8 ASIV focuses on dwelling units and specifies that ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required for all 125 volts through 250 volts receptacles installed in locations specified in 210.8 and through 11. These locations include bathrooms, garages, outdoors, crawl spaces at or below grade level, unfinished basements, kitchen countertops, sinks, indoor damp and wet locations, boathouses, and laundry areas. Even though the receptacles are on the living room side of the kitchen bar, if they are within 6 feet of the sink, ground fault circuit interrupter protection is required. The intent is to protect people from electrical shock hazards where water is likely to be present. The National Electrical Code is not a law, but it is widely adopted by state and local jurisdictions. It is important to check with the local authorities to determine the specific electrical codes that are in effect in your area. Electrical codes are designed to protect people and property from electrical hazards. By following the codes, you can help to ensure a safe electrical environment. Ground fault circuit interrupters are an important part of a safe electrical system. They can help to prevent electrical shocks and save lives. The technology behind ground fault circuit interrupters is based on detecting imbalances in the current flowing through the circuit. A ground fault circuit interrupter constantly monitors the current flowing through the hot and neutral wires. In a properly functioning circuit, the current flowing through the hot wire should be equal to the current flowing through the neutral wire. If there is a ground fault, some of the current will flow through a different path, such as through a person's body to ground. This will cause an imbalance in the current flowing through the hot and neutral wires. The ground fault circuit interrupter detects this imbalance and quickly trips the circuit, cutting off the power and preventing electrical shock. Ground fault circuit interrupters are designed to trip very quickly, typically within 25 milliseconds. This is fast enough to prevent serious injury or death. Ground fault circuit interrupters are required in many locations in homes and businesses. This is because they provide a crucial layer of protection against electrical shock. The National Electrical Code is a set of standards for safe electrical installations. The National Electrical Code is updated every 3 years to reflect new technologies and safety concerns. It is important to stay up to date on the latest National Electrical Code requirements to ensure that your electrical system is safe. Ground fault circuit interrupters are an important part of a safe electrical system, but they are not a substitute for safe electrical practices. It is important to always follow safe electrical practices, such as avoiding contact with water while using electrical appliances.